What a day. What a day. What were you doing as an 18-year-old the week after you'd collected your A-level results? Still celebrating? So does destiny decree that finally it's Leeds' year? Or does fate and fortune favour another Warrington success? We shall see. It's all about the start. It was all about the start 2 years ago when Warrington won with ease. It's all about these opening 5 or 10 minutes here, isn't it, Jonathan Davis?
Well, showed intent there. What a hit by the Leeds forwards. Hill took it in. Here we go again. 3-man tackle. They are smashing them. There's the first hit of the game. What a hit. Dislodges the ball, and very lucky that they didn't go forward for a scrum for Leeds.
So Warrington with the early possession here. They're playing in their home strip today. Leeds, of course, normally in blue and amber. They've switched, so they're the side in the pink and blue.
Back up. Go,
and here's Mickey Hyam, who starts at dummy half. Michael Monaghan on the bench, as we saw a little earlier. We will no doubt see him at some stage during the game. Here comes Lee Breers with the early kick after that opening set of 6. It's a chase here, and caught safely enough by Hardacre, who was starring in the centres and on the wing earlier, but there's Michael Monaghan. But he has been a real star performer at full-back in recent weeks. Firstly in the absence of Brent Webb, but now preferred to Brent Webb.
Had the nod.
Zach Hardacre, another of those, is looking to lift this trophy for Leeds here today. Here comes Jamie Peacock with a ripping run. What an effort by Peacock. Eventually Ratchford pulls him down.
Fantastic run, that's what they want. Quite surprised they went wide there, long, because they had numbers after a great play by Peacock.
Brett Hodgson with the return. And a bit of a Wembley nightmare 3 years ago, didn't he, with Huddersfield at full-back against Warrington, but now in Warrington's colours, hoping to put that right wrong. And Jamie Peacock, MBE, 34 years of age. He's the only man in the Leeds side, by the way, who has experienced Challenge Cup success. On 2 occasions, both of those, though, with his previous club, Bradford. Little searching run by Myler. Now a pick-up and a carry forward by Joel Monaghan. Breers, man of the match winner a couple of years ago with the dummy. Finds stern resistance in the middle of the park. Here comes the last. Hodgson with a kick away. Breers having been involved in the tackle. He was taken late there, I think, was he? Ablett?
Yeah, just...
Well, the referee spotted it and said, play on.
Yeah, it's good pressure by Ablett, though. You know, Breers are on the floor. Hodgson is there in the pocket. Good pressure. Wasn't the greatest kick. No, he was committed to the tackle. No penalty.
This is Rob Burrow at dummy half. Ablett. The word from the bench is that at some point in this first half, Ryan Bailey might disappear and Ablett move into the pack. And that's when we get the first chance to see Jimmy Keinhorst, the German international.
Yeah, I think that the last time they played each other, they did attack the fringes. And with Seinfeld and Ablett on the fringes, they did suffer for lack of pace, so I think they're going to rectify that very quickly after the first 20 minutes.
Here comes Sinfield with a kick. Well, he was taken by Carvel and has been left on the floor. Kevin Sinfield. Well, he's going to be a little shaky. He's going to carry on.
Wow.
But I know that Warrington's game plan here, part of it is very much about getting at Kevin Sinfield because he is such a pivotal player.
That was late, rather clumsy, but I think Ablett got away with it, so...
Carvel was allowed to get away with it too.
Yeah, that was slightly late there.
Here's Hyam. Now Carvel.
Start is so important, Dave, isn't it? The start is so important. That first score, just to settle your nerves.
Hyam's the man at dummy half. It's Breers with a kick. High and hanging, not a lot of distance on this, but down it comes. Monaghan pats it back. Did that hit Ratchford? Yes, it did. So by rights, Monaghan's offside, and it will be a penalty Leeds as well.
Yeah, a couple of poor kicks, first by Sinfield and then by Breers. Knock on by Ratchford, offside. But they're not going to be too expansive earlier on. Nerves, settle the nerves, get good field position, and this could be first opportunity, good field position for Leeds from the penalty kick.
So the tap restart inside Warrington territory. Chance for Leeds to try and resume a little bit of authority in the situation. Kylie Luluai, another of those big men down the middle who'll be putting in all the big efforts in these opening stages.
It's good defence there. First 2 tackles haven't made much ground.
It's Peacock. Burrow stands and waits. Brian McDermott looks on. A little look of impatience on his face and nerves, no doubt, in these opening stages. Delaney down this right channel. Still a couple of tackles left in the back here. Sinfield across the line. This now is the youngster taking them on, Stevie Ward, but he's put down. Last tackle coming up. What do Leeds do from here? Inevitably back to Sinfield, but he puts it back to Burrow, and superbly read by Benny Westwood, who not only makes the tackle, he smothers Rob Burrow, and that will be a handover.
Great tackle. They put the pressure on Sinfield, knowing that he's the kicker. Inside ball, inside defence works so well. Westwood smashes Burrow.
Well, every week Tony Smith is keen to sing the praises of that second row forward, Benny Westwood, and with very good reason.
He's a workhorse.
Started life as a centre, didn't he, back in the days at Wakefield, but really has come to prominence as a second row. Very nearly the out ball from Atkins there, couldn't get it away. Waterhouse spins it off to Mickey Hyam. Hyam with the offload, gets a bit lucky, picked up by Hill. Hill's got support on the inside. Here comes Myler. Myler with a kick to the corner. Well, the makers of space. Monaghan will reach, and Joe Monaghan scores the game's first try. Richard Silverwood confirms it is Warrington who've got up to the flyer.
And the offloads come in. The offloads out of the tackle created the space for Warrington. But what's vision is unbelievable. I thought the Leeds scramble defence was fantastic, but the vision, just watch. Just watch for the offloads. There's the first offload. Hyam goes up the middle, another offload, and then Hill just goes up the middle, third offload. Just watch the vision, because the winger has come in to cover the supporting runner, which allows Monaghan the space to go. This is it, the third offload in that phase of play. They cover very, very well, but there you are, you see it, number 5. Ryan Hall has come in to cover the support play, and Monaghan scores.
Well, his brother Michael is on the bench. I think his dad's here as well today, Joel Monaghan. His mum has come over. There's Michael. His mum has come over to watch Michael Monaghan play in Wembley Cup Finals in the last few years, and has spent the entire game outside in the car park. She cannot bear to watch her 2 sons playing rugby league, so she stayed at home this year and she's watching on the telly.
Well, it saves the flight money anyway, doesn't it?
Well, if you're watching, Mrs. Monaghan, you can be proud of one of your boys. Here's Brett Hodgson with a conversion attempt. Decently struck.
Great kick.
More than decent. Right between the uprights. And Warrington have the start they want. The question now is, how do Leeds respond?
And those conversions, just watch. See the space. He's got the space there because Ryan Hall has done the very best thing in coming in and cutting the support runner off. Unfortunately, the vision of Milo was fantastic.
Well, Richie Milo was a surprise omission a couple of years ago, wasn't he? Very much the star by that season, but he didn't make the final cut. But having made the final cut today, he's provided the first piece of magic for the opening try. 8 minutes play. Warrington with the lead, 6-0. Here comes Carvel. This is picked up again by Hyam.
Great play the ball.
Well, they're getting a bit of quickness here, aren't they? Always through the legs of Atkins.
Yeah, too many men, they're going for the ball.
It's a bit of a ploy of Warrington.
And again,
Quite coming off on that occasion, but they're turning these offloads into something special here, and they are making Leeds hurt with the way they're offloading the ball. Hodgson into the line, Westwood spilled it. Radford kicks it on. Or Radford's pitched it, but there was an early knock-on. So the referee says no try.
Well, he said he used to be a centre. Unfortunately there, Ben Westwood He created the space again. What the offloads do is it attracts defenders to try and smother the ball. And if they get the ball away, then there is space outside. Slightly behind him. But the opportunity was there again. I don't think it was a knock-on, was it? Was that a knock-on, David?
Well, the referee gave it, so it must be.
It must be, yes.
It's the ultimate argument, isn't it? But they are a side. I mean, Warrington are a side who've got a reputation now, haven't they, under Tony Smith, who love to get the ball alive. These offloads, sometimes it is a high-risk factor. They are one of the teams who complete fewer sets than many others.
Yeah.
But it's a high-risk factor that very often does come off.
They complete fewer sets sometimes because they score tries. And that's the thing. I think Leeds now, Brian McDermott is on the touchline, look, and you've got to wrap those tackles up. You can't have him offloading. It just attracts attention.
Well, there's a star man missing today, Danny Maguire, because of that injury, of course. But they still have a few star men, not the least of them this young man, Callum Watkins, who's allowed to play on here. Tackle not completed.
Oh, great feet.
So Leeds find territory. Burrows off and running here from dummy half. Grabbed out by a couple, but Leeds now less than 20 away, but it's on the final tackle. So Sinfield, big responsibility. He's kicked short this time towards Ryan Hall, who's gone up in the air. There's a collision there with Breers, Ratchford involved. Hall takes it, but he is tackled, so it is a handover.
Yes. Tackle just didn't get the height on it. Good commitment by Hall and Breers. Catches him in the tackle, puts him to the ground, finishes the tackle.
Well, again, I thought that was great vision from Kevin Sinfield, because he flighted that kick for his winger rather than put it high on it, because the line was covered. He flighted it for the winger with plenty of space in front of him.
And I think Kevin will be disappointed with his kicking at the moment. He's had 2 kicks that maybe hasn't got the right trajectory on them. He wants to hang it up a little bit for Hall.
Here's Myler. Has getting it away to Riley.
And again, the offloads, even in their own 30-metre area, they prepare to offload.
Myler again.
Good tackle.
There's 5, so here comes a 6, and Warrington on the 40-metre mark, as you can see. So Mickey Hyam out from dummy half. It was a good thing to have, a player who can kick from dummy half, but it's taken cleanly enough by Zach Hardacre. Hyam's missed a tackle on the follow-up, which just allows Hardacre another 10 yards or so.
I think that's the difference at the moment. They've got more kickers, you know, in their ranks, taking the pressure off Lee Breers. They need an option for Sinfield, because they will put the pressure on him.
Ablett looking from the dummy half to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He's going to be anxious not to be dragged out of play. Keeps himself safe. Blast down the middle, attempted by Ryan Bailey, but I think Benny Westwood's already making a case here today, isn't he? Certainly defensively for that Man of the Match award, the Lance Todd Trophy award.
Tackling's ferocious.
It's an absolutely tireless performer. Here comes Sinfield again with a little dribbled kick, and Hodgson watches this and safely collects and can run no further than that. Here's Riley.
Again, there's no option there, only Kevin Sinfield, which allows Hodgson, the fullback, just to read where he is going to stand, so he can. It's easier reading one kicker than seeing where the ball is going to get kicked from.
It's Carvel taking it in strongly. Jones Buchanan and Peacock between them, managing to haul him down. And the ball's been lost. Wow. Clean loss by Gareth Carvel. So scrum, head and feed leads his way here.
Good field position for Leeds. No complaints from Carvel. Yep, lost it in the tackle. Peacock. Well, he lost it twice actually, didn't he? Lost control there, and then again. He's made an impact, hasn't he? It's his first mistake. Great defence, great battle, Peacock.
Let's hear from Robbie Hunter-Paul, who's on the sidelines. Robbie.
Well, it's interesting that you guys up there have been talking about the offloads from the Warrington team. I believe that they've been coming off the quick play the balls from Warrington. They've been able to get their players into a one-on-one position, and over the last two sets, Leeds have been able to deal with it because they've been able to get back in control of the speed of the play the ball, and that's slowed Warrington right up. They've tried to move the ball wide, and Leeds defence to be able to get back control of the game.
Leeds in position A here. Burrow down that left-hand side, played on, and Ablett to Ryan Hall, who can't keep a hold, and down it goes. Well, he loves this stadium, Ryan Hall, doesn't he? Last November with the 2 wonder tries for England against Australia, but never quite had the ball in his possession here to weave any of his magic.
That's good play by Monaghan again. He went in and covered the centre, then still had the time to go to make the tackle. Ryan Hall is a tremendous finisher.
Keep holding the tents, Cal. Okay. Tight in, stay close, mate. Heads in, mate. Ready to go.
Here's Breers with a feed.
One.
Hodgson with a burst.
Move. Jamie, here we are. Wait, go. 1.
15 gone, 6-0 Warrington lead.
2. Move. Hold, Ryan. Wait.
Two sides with immense pedigree in this competition. A 16th Challenge Cup final for Warrington today. They've won 7 of them. 23 for Leeds. Only Wigan have been here more, and they've won 11 of them. But famously, they've lost the last 5. And you can hear a crack of thunder overhead as well, which adds to a little to the drama of the situation as well. From behind the 40, Lee Breers gets the kick away. This could be a big one, kept in play just about by Zach Hardacre, and necessarily so. Had that gone out of play, it would have been Warrington's head and feet 10 yards out. As it is, Leeds come away with it.
That's great play. Great kick. That's a fantastic effort, Hardacre.
Move. Oh, Gareth.
Really has looked superb in that full-back role, hasn't he?
Well, the semi-final, he was magnificent against Wigan.
Trent, hold, go, 3rd.
Here's Burrow.
Hold! Move! 4, Mickey.
Burrow stands and waits. Kirk is fresh from the interchange bench, and here comes Peacock
again.
For the second time, he's made an impact, and he's got the offload as well away. That's good hands from Jamie Peacock, not just the power and efficiency down the middle.
The timing and the angle of his runs are fantastic. Great pickup.
Sinfield kicking early in the tackle count. Hodgson is a clean collector of the ball. Driven back by Monaghan. Joel Monaghan, the try scorer. Hill looking along the line towards Atkins, who looks to step, has Riley there. He was passing with Riley already committed on the inside. They claim a Leeds touch here, but I'm sure it was ball played man. That's the way the referee's given it. Atkins flicking it away, hit a Leeds player, it goes out of play. It will be Leeds' head and feet.
Yeah, I try to take it on the outside. Just watch. Good part that Atkins. Watkins tries to offload. He didn't play at that, did he? I'm not sure his eyes were on him. Mine's clever play by Callum Watkins. Yeah, maybe he kicked that. Had his eyes on it. Very clever play. But now good field position once again for the Leeds Rhinos.
So Kevin Sinfield will feed it here eventually. Stevie Ward standing right at the scrum. Burrow picks it up. Here comes Ward now. Little dummy by him to Hardacre and running into Ben Westwood again.
Good defensive stint by Westwood.
Here comes Kirk. Is this offside against Leeds? Yes, it is. Against Warrington, rather. It is. So a penalty for Leeds. Fairly direct. Now, what do they do here, Jonathan? Do they think about going for goal, or is it just about rolling on for another set?
Field position. Just go for it. Well, they're taking the quick tap, so yes. Too early in the game yet. 6 points behind. Let's go for it. First time they've had real field position in the opposition 20.
Bailey with a drive, 10 metres away.
He's lost it.
Stolen. Referee decides belatedly. I think that might have been a call from the touchline. James Child on this near side might have just, because he had the best view there, might just have given the referee the call here, because it was a late call from the ref to give it as a penalty. There he is, James Child. Super League referee as well, not just a touch judge.
Well, made a mistake. This is a quick tap again. They're not going to go for goal.
Here comes Peacock. A stiffener down the middle. Here comes Burrow at dummy half. Sinfield, support on the inside. A spinning effort by Kirk, who's got there! My word, he's got there! Warrington's defence a little soft. And Ian Kirk with the urge and the surge has put Leeds on the scoreboard. The coach looks unmoved, but he'll be mightily pleased because Leeds have a response.
And that's the response they needed. First time they've had field position and they come away with a try. This is the incident. Does he steal the ball?
It looks as though he'd already lost it, doesn't it?
I think he had his hand in there and then he kind of raked it away. But they switched off. Inside ball. That's a big man running over a little man. Hodgson is there in the line. Just watch. Kirk comes in. And that is it. And as they've scored, the heavens have opened. It is absolutely chucking it down at Wembley. Absolutely. Look at this rain now. Where does this come from?
And the thunder and lightning above us as well. Kevin Sinfield adds the goal. Brian McDermott is a drowned rat all of a sudden.
And this is the inside ball. He spots the man, stretches over, try. There they are.
Well, there was a famous rainy final back in the day, wasn't there? 1968, forever known as the water splash final, when Leeds were victorious in very, very traumatic and dramatic circumstances. And the way this rain is hammering down now, we've got another occasion that it's perhaps going to be marked by the environment. Kirk driving it in, Warrington respond, a flash of lightning up above. What a dramatic occurrence we've got here.
We've got everything. But now the tactics will change, whether they curtails the offloads, but now it's all about possession, getting good field position to put the kick in, putting pressure on.
Well, it is a little like Formula One, isn't it, in terms of the tactics, changing your tyres.
It's an early kick by Sinfield.
Sinfield's kicking game becomes massive now, because getting out of your own field goal area, that's where you want to be.
And now getting down there and making sure that you keep over the ball when you're hitting the tackle.
Here's Riley from dummy half. Ablett moves in, making the tackle a good one. Well, it's unbelievable weather at the moment. Absolutely hammering down.
It's gone so dark. Incredible.
Hill driving it forward again.
And if anything, it's intensified the atmosphere.
And Hill has lost possession. You have to point to the conditions for that. Chris Hill losing it. So the head and feet goes Leeds' way. No one around him, he just simply dropped it. The ball like a bar of soap at the moment.
He tries to put it down too hard and it forces the knock on.
Well, we are sitting right at the back of one of the stands here at Wembley Stadium and we can feel the rain on us at the moment. Absolutely pouring down. This now is Callum Watkins. This is going to be a Wembley final to remember. It really is. Peacock will be loving this.
I think the conditions at the moment, the winner at the end of this, whoever keeps on the possession the most.
Here's Sinfield, little kick through again. Again inviting Warrington to make a handling error. Was there one there from Lee Breers?
I thought
just about hung on. Referee had a good look, decided not to give the knock on. Warrington driving it forward. Great offload. Now they move it left. This is Atkins. Atkins looking for the ball on the inside. Two defenders there, will not let go.
Well, they haven't had the ball for a while now, Warrington, but the offload is still there. They've got to keep on to it, put the kick in, and then reverse the pressure. There's the knock-on once again.
Waterhouse has lost it. Leeds being adventurous with their handling of this occasion. And Burrow is the man who gets a hold. It's rugby league, but not as we know it. Ablett.
Summer rugby.
Does rain in the summer as well, John.
And again, tell me about it. Well, as I've said, it's all now about possession.
Well, there's a touch judge on the field. Brian McDermott looks like he's just gone for a swim in the swimming pool. No umbrella for him.
I'm not sure what's happened here.
Well, the touch judge is on. He's obviously spotted something. He wants to word with the referee, Richard Silverwood. It's Tim Roby, the touch judge, with a yellow flag.
Back behind that line.
These are now big calls. Touch judge coming in.
Well, I wonder if we can hear what the referee's saying here.
Let's see, yes.
What we got?
Is striking out by Paul Wood after the ball's gone.
Paul Wood, first
We need
offence.
to check Paul Wood. It's first offence. We need to check who's in there.
Okay.
Every second minute. Right?
All right. We've had no lead. Paul.
So Paul Wood of Warrington is the man who's being pulled out here.
Ball's gone. Okay. All we've got is you flashing out. Okay.
It's not penalty.
So he is the number 16.
So penalty's going against you.
And has a crack at Carl Ablett. Oh, he had a crack at Carl Ablett, all right.
I think Carl Ablett a little dabble him, and then there's a right hook on the chin. Someone said in the back, no, that's not a penalty, that. I think that is a penalty. And
it's a Challenge Cup final. They're not allowed to punch each other. And Kevin Sinfield's going for goal here. Now this again is a decision that's no doubt been made by the weather. It has eased off for the moment. The rain has stopped. Not that you'd know it looking at that picture.
no.
But Kevin Sinfield taking the percentage decision here.
Well, I think with conditions, well, as they have been the last few minutes, now it's a slippery, soggy surface. It's going to be a tighter match. So that's the decision. If this is going to be tight, we're going to get our noses in front. So let's take anything that we have now.
Decent crowd here at Wembley today, but as you can see, that ring of indifference again making its mark. Well, if anybody is desperate to get his hands on a Challenge Cup trophy, this man is. Can he edge his side a little closer here with this kick? Over it goes, I think. Yes, it does. The flags, yellow and red, both are raised to confirm that Kevin Sinfield has landed his second goal. And at 8 points to 6, it is Leeds who edged their noses ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's a very, very good strike. I think the right decision as well. Get your noses in front.
Takes the score to Leeds Rhinos 8.
But all that pressure in the Warrington half from big tackles, losing the ball, and then the frustration of the punch ends up in 2 points.
So Warrington will be hoping that their opponents can now do what they've done a couple of times a while back, lose possession inside their own half, with it being very, very slippy.
Yeah, watch the tackles now. They'll all be around the ball carrying area, trying to dislodge the ball, force a mistake.
Well, Danny Maguire should have been involved today, of course. The lead standoff. He's not. He's injured. There he is, and he's talking now with Tanya.
Danny, how pleased are you with this start?
Yeah, it's been a good start. It's obviously the conditions have not been the best, but it's going to be a tight game now. You know, but we've started really well. I think our defence has been really strong. You know, Warrington's defence has been strong as well. So, you know, I think it's going to be a game of few chances now. So it's the team that takes them.
How tough for you to watch?
Yeah, I'm itching to get out there. You know, I've been a bit like a mad fan at the minute, but you know, I'm trying to relax now. But yeah, it'd be great to be out there, but it's not to be today. But I'm just going to cheer the lads on.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Good tackle again, Ablett.
Then that's one of the understatements of the day, isn't it? Conditions have not been as good as they might have been. It's been apocalyptic, Danny.
Yeah. Well, the last 5 minutes are.
Oh, Ryan,
Watch this hit again. Good chase.
Third, move. Oh, Jamie, wait. Go, third.
Morley on from the bench. Here comes Wood. Drive by him.
4. Move.
4 gone, 2 to come here for Warrington.
Go, 4.
They struck first. Can they get something back here now? This is good movement to Hodgson. Little dummy on his inside to Ratchford, trying to take them on, but they really well enough, and they've made the tackle.
He should have stayed outside there, Ratchford. They created the overlap.
Monaghan's on from the bench. It was his play from dummy half. Now Breers with a kick to this left-hand side. Riley's underneath it, allowed to take it by James Buchanan, who knew he had his man covered, so when he came down, the tackle was good. Out of play, knock on, whichever you like. It's a handover. It was the 6th.
Yeah, good play there by Jones Bishop. Just watching, he's isolated. Steers him into touch, but he loses the ball.
Okay, mate, let's go.
So nitpicking, perhaps a call for maybe in mid-air, but referee allows it to pass without incident, without penalty.
It's still raining though, but not as heavy. And Leeds will just do the safe thing now. Good set, kick.
Hold. Go, 2.
Someone was saying, I think it was Ian Millward, who was chatting to Ian Millward last night about Leeds have very often won the big occasions, the grand finals, on wet nights in October. And they know how to play these conditions. So that he rather fancies that if it stays like this, then maybe it could be Leeds' day here today.
It's very difficult now. The referee shouted held. Well, you know, it's nearly a packed out Wembley Stadium. The players aren't going to hear him shouting held. I think he shouted held just there, but the players can't hear that.
Back, lads.
Well, the new rule this year is that if he doesn't think they have heard him, they can simply get up and play the ball rather than give the penalty.
Move.
Here's Burrow. The rain's getting heavier again. Burrow from dummy half. Bailey down the middle. Big slam forward by him, but pushed back by 3 in the primrose and blue. Burrow. Sinfield shuffling it on. Little step made by Brett Delaney. Can't get through. Burrow stands and waits a dummy half. It's back to Sinfield again now in the middle. Another big drive forward, but another well-met in defence moment by Warrington.
Very
Kirk to his feet.
Very solid now by Leeds.
Sinfield again shaping to put that kick through. Hodgson will have to be wary, and he's just about, but he's hammered by the tackle of Ward, who almost slid his man into the in-goal area. But it's not a bad finish here from that set from Leeds' point of view, but Warrington's relief. Because Leeds are offside.
Too eager. And they were right under the cosh there, in their own corner, on their own try line. Leeds had their tails up. They just had to hold a little bit.
Hold your line.
Yeah, they all shot.
Go.
The field position is so important now. So important with conditions like this.
Go.
Here's Monaghan. This would again not content to go down with the ball, anxious to offload if he could, not on that occasion. Monaghan, no, it was high arm from Darryl Griffin.
Yeah, definitely high. I think they'll go for.
High tackle.
I think they'll go for the. They won't go for goal here.
So Lee Breers with a kick that has now given Warrington excellent position here. What can they make of this? 6 tackles to hammer their opponent's line. The first blow provided by Adrian Morley. Here comes Monaghan. Little shuffle forward by Paul Wood. The position is excellent, right in the middle. 4 to go, 5 yards out. Left it comes to Myler. Quick hands to Waterhouse. Waterhouse with a reach. Has he got that down? The referee has a look. He's going to be mindful to give this. Yes, he will. It's a second try for Warrington. Trent Waterhouse, the man to score it, and it's Warrington who are back in the lead.
As I said, field position is vitally important. Very difficult to defend in these conditions. The tries have come from mistakes and a penalty. That head shot by Darren Griffin, here's the penalty, gives them field position. Waterhouse just barges his way over. Just watch, lovely dummy run, gets on the back on the outside. Very difficult. Again, Jones, Bishop and Watkins, 2 of them try and come in, but so difficult to stop such a big man, Waterhouse, from that distance.
Kevin Sinfield on the floor was making a case for that ball having been lost, but Richard Silverwood confident enough not to go to the video ref, giving it on the evidence of his own eyes. So Brett Hodgson, the man looking to add the 2 here. Another real veteran, 34 years of age, Brett Hodgson.
Class player though.
Veteran of state of origin clashes in days gone by with New South Wales. Wembley finalists, as we said back a couple of years ago with Huddersfield. Loser on that day, but a goal kicker this day to give his side a 12 points to 8 lead. And you rather fancy this could be a final that swaps and changes in terms of the lead throughout the afternoon, throughout the duration.
Here's the ground in. Oh, that's not a knock-on. That's a try.
Don't forget the rule, you don't necessarily have to have your hands on the ball. If you've got your upper body on the ball, that is good enough when it's being grounded.
There we are. Good, sensible kick. It's wet. Put it along the ground.
Here's Morley.
They've made big impacts, haven't they? You know, they've started Carvel and Hill. They started well. Once they tire, they bring on Morley and Wood. They've been so effective this season. They've laid a great platform.
And a penalty here. A little bit of interference in the tackle.
And that's what, you know, Brian McDermott will be pulling his hair out. They've just said, look, you know, just leave them work hard for the yards. No, it's field position once again in a threatening area for Leeds.
Here's Morley. So many players to admire over the years in Super League, but none more surely than Adrian Morley for all he's given, both here and in Australia. Monaghan out from dummy half. Penalty for Warrington. Momentum just creeping back a little their way.
Yeah,
here.
the quick play of the ball allows this man just to run. They're offside. This will be interesting. Do they go for 6 points? No, they're going for the try.
Well, Breers with a kick. Ratchford with a tap. Here comes the initial drive. And again they're close.
He's working hard, isn't he, Westwood?
Monaghan skipping it away to Breers. Breers along the line here now. Oh, it's behind Hodgson. It's a poor pass from Lee Breers. And Riley does well to keep it in play. But they've lost a bit of ground and they've lost a bit of momentum. Here's Atkins.
I think there's somebody down in the background. Doesn't look great. Reaction of the medical staff.
Well, they're looking at the referee very often. They don't stop the game when there's a player injured unless it's serious.
Yes.
And the medical staff just... Jamie Jones-Buchanan, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Just saying that this is serious enough. We can't just cart him off.
Well, that's an attacking area. He's on the ground. It's dangerous for, you know, the injured player and the medical staff. I think it was on the tackle that he made on Westwood. That'll be a blow for Leeds. Tremendous work. Just watch. I think loses his foot then, doesn't he? So I hope he's all right. Just watch.
Well, he's being helped off, and in the meantime, Warrington restart the game. Breers out to Hodgson. Hodgson tries a little dummy, then tries to take them on.
Back here, lads. Wait.
This is Stefan Ratchford.
What? Move on the line, Ryan. Line.
Sean Lunt is the man who's come on in place of Jones-Buchanan. Breers with a little grubber kick in. And it's a mess down there, but eventually picked up by Zach Hardacre.
So dangerous, isn't it, on the floor?
And I think the referee's seen a knock on. There's no advantage there for Leeds, so they will get their head and feet here at the scrum. Here's Damien Johnson on the sidelines. Damien.
David Solomona didn't make the Warrington squad today. What have you made of it so far? It's ebbed and flowed in both ways.
Yeah, it's been a tough game. I mean, the rain doesn't help, so you know, I think boys are throwing the ball around a bit, but we're changing the ball this week and it's quite slippery, so hopefully it'll stay entertaining for us out there, but it's a tough game.
What's the key? You've got to come to terms with these conditions very quickly.
Yeah, I think just possession and trying to keep control of the ball. I don't think we've been down there too many times, so if we can hold the ball and keep them down there, I think that will be our goal for half-time and going into the second half.
Thanks, David.
Cheers, boys.
Warrington dominating the possession, 59% so far, as you can see, but it's Leeds who dominate the territory.
Yes.
What does that tell you, Jonathan? Well, you're trying to work it out, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, it just says that, you know, a lot of the possession that Warrington have had, you know, it's been in their own half. So, you know, the defensive system of Leeds have worked well. So they've kept Warrington in their own half, and they've had a kick from distance.
There's Riley. Sinfield doing well again with that kick away, and
swinging arm. Oh, that's just silly.
Ryan Bailey.
That's silly play, you know, that's the problem. You know, the pressure is on. Well, it's not a swinging arm, it's a high tackle, which is, you know, I don't think that was a penalty, but the letter of the law, above the shoulders.
So Lee Breers is able to dispatch this one for the tap restart, 5 metres short of the halfway line.
No, the difference is with that penalty, whereas Harding and the Leeds fullback might have been taking it on his own 30-metre area, he now could be defending an up and under on his own goal line, and that's the significance of keeping your discipline.
Maybe in these conditions a grubber kick.
Well, anything. The difference is that 30 yards difference from the penalty kick now will put Leeds under pressure.
There's Monaghan. Well, that's 4 tackles gone. There's still a couple to come. Little game of chess going on here. Warrington picking their position, edging themselves to where they want to be before it comes to this last kick, which is right here. Taken in by Tyrone McCarthy. Here comes the last. Great position. Options right and left. What's Monaghan doing? What's Michael Monaghan doing? That certainly wasn't in the plan. Did he think he was going to be getting an offside there for not square the marker?
He wasn't square, was he? Monaghan took the penalty. That was very clever play.
Well, he obviously thought the Leeds markers were not square here.
And they weren't square. That's very clever play by Monaghan. I think that's a mistake by Silverwood.
Wait.
You don't do that in the last tackle if you know that they're not square.
It's certainly not a player with Michael Monaghan's experience.
He is a very clever player. Well, and you could see his reaction. He just got up and just laughed at the referee.
This is Burrow.
Back.
4 minutes of the half remaining. Where did that go? We played 36 minutes here. Sinfield with a kick. Hodgson, not the best of first touches. He's a big Liverpool fan. Brett Hodgson.
Good chase.
Here's Riley.
Back.
Wingers getting involved in the work. It's Atkins now the centre.
That's a good battle, isn't it? Young Callum Watkins against Ryan Atkins.
Well, he's lost it. He's lost it. And again, a handling error. So again, it's head and feet to Leeds. We'll see an awful lot of these. It's, you know, if you're watching at home and wondering why this is going on, then that ball really does, when it gets wet, really does get very, very slippy.
You've got to control the ball. There's no harm in it. He swings too hard. No, you've got to just look after that ball.
Right, lads. Side in, lads. Give it. Ball in.
It's Burrow with a feed.
Out.
Collected by Lunt, who packed down at loose forward on that occasion.
Stay in, Brett.
Forward by Ben Jones-Bishop. 24 years of age yesterday, Ben Jones-Bishop. Always a special occasion. It has been for him the last couple of years. Celebrates his birthday and then plays in the Challenge Cup final. This is Peacock. Big effort he'll be looking for today, and big effort provided so far. Lunt. Out from acting half again. Sinfield spinning it behind the line. Little show and a go by Hardacre, but his way was blocked. Lunt searches down that blind side. They've got the entire width of the field to work with here on the final tackle. Sinfield's kick. Hall's trying to time his run, blocked out of the way by Breers. The touch judge is on. Monaghan's going to run away, but whatever happens here, it's academic because the touch judge is on, and I rather fancy it's going to be a penalty at the other end here for Leeds. Tim Roby came running on, and this is, I mean, Lee Breers will try and change his mind here, but this will be for the interference by Lee Breers as judged by the touch judge.
Lee Breers jumps into the man. That's what the touch is going to say. Whether that is the case or not, we will have to wait and see. There was definitely a collision in the air, whether there was intent or not. We'll have to have a look at that again. Just have a look. Just see what Lee Breers is doing. He's got his eyes on him. Yeah, he's getting in the way. That is a penalty. He doesn't have to move out of the way. But he did step into him. Dave, what do you think?
You could throw that VT, that replay, to about 150 different people. And you get 75 opinions penalty, 75 opinions no penalty. Depending whether you're wearing Leeds colours or Warrington colours.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Lee Breers is getting a talking to as well here.
That could be what a call that is. What a call. 2 minutes to go.
Well, there's a penalty at the other end that maybe should have been Michael Monaghan.
Yes.
That he would have been convinced by.
Yes.
And on the other side of that, Lee Breer's convinced that that shouldn't have been a penalty, but it is.
That's all right, mate.
And Leeds have the advantage here.
Stand back up. Now,
Kevin Sinfield has elected to kick for goal. Well, again, it's an interesting decision he's made here. 4 points the difference.
I don't understand this decision.
Just under 2 minutes to go.
Do you?
Narrows the gap to 2. But if he...
I have no idea what this call is for. You know, you've got an opportunity to go for 6 points 2 minutes before half-time. If he gets 2 points, so what? There's 40 minutes to go in the second half. I don't really understand this decision.
Maybe just harking back to history, when Leeds played Bradford, I think it was 2003 final, there were 2 points between them on that occasion. Kevin Sinfield turned down a kick for goal when he thought his side could score or try and win it, instead of going for the kick to draw. Maybe that's just lingering at the back of his mind. Maybe he's thinking, we'll take two, there's no guarantee of the 4. Mind you, there's no guarantee of the 2 here,
no,
is there?
there's not.
He's a good kicker, but it's still a test. And what are we to doubt him? Kevin Sinfield, or Sir Kevin Sinfield as they call him in Leeds, puts it right between the uprights. Brian McDermott would never have been in any doubt that his skipper would have landed that. It's 10 points to 12.
Let's see that. He looks at him, leans into him. I think, yeah, it's the right decision. Just watch the eyes. He steps. It's a 50-50 call, but I think it's the right one on that occasion. But again, it'd be interesting to see what the boys thought at half-time of that decision to go for goal. I don't really understand that call, to be honest.
Well, there's been plenty to talk about already in this game, hasn't there?
Yes.
Conditions preventing it to being an absolute flowing classic here today, but still plenty of meaty morsels to chew upon at half-time, and no doubt to occupy the attentions of both those coaches. Leeds anxious not to lose it in the last 17 seconds. Warrington desperate to knock this ball free with a bone-shaking tackle or 2 if they can, to give themselves maybe one last opportunity to strike again before the hooter sounds at the end of what has been an engrossing first half. Sinfield will take the ball into the tackle, which will be the last action of that first half. The hooter sounds. Richard Silverwood confirms the end of the half. It's Warrington who got off to the fastest start. Monaghan with a try, Kirk getting one back, Waterhouse with another try, some kicking from Kevin Sinfield, and Brett Hodgson has given us that scoreline.
Yeah, tough game. You know, the conditions, your thought process changes once that shower came down. It's then a game of, you know, possession, keeping hold of it, getting good field position, the good kicking game. So, you know, who knows, but it's been a really, really tough first half.
It's half-time. It's Leeds 10, it's Warrington 12. Well, the stage is set for a hero to emerge, isn't it? And maybe Jamie Jones-Buchanan is going to re-emerge from an injury that looked to have put him out not only of this game, but maybe for a week or 2 as the ball falls over.
Yeah, I think the best thing about this game is no one really can pick a winner. You know, that's what you want at half-time. There's a lot to play in this. The ball's fallen off twice, off the tee twice. It's now dry, but it's still wet underfoot. So here we go, big 40 minutes.
I think what Jonathan was saying is it stopped raining.
Yeah, it stopped.
So Leeds, with one of the men who's made an impact in that first half, Ian Kirk, try scorer with a drive away.
Yeah, boys, wait,
And early possession for the side from Yorkshire. It's taken in by Daryl Griffin. This is Lucknow. Warrington anxious to keep their opponents down here if they can, as Peacock driving it in again. Nothing fancy in these opening 4 tackles. You certainly wouldn't expect that. Leeds just looking for efficiency and a clean getaway.
Yeah, as Ian Millwood said, they're very basic skills, but you know, it's worked for Leeds. Kept ball possession, good kicking game. You know, Ian Kirk burst off from close range. I think they're not going to change their tactics. And not a lot of pressure on Sinfield there to kick.
He had acres of space, didn't he, to make that little run and choose his position. And that's where he chose, so Hodgson has to scramble over there. Apologies, by the way, to Brett Hodgson. I think I marked him out as a Liverpool fan in the first half. He's a supporter of Chelsea. Several people have been tapping me on the shoulder and explaining at half-time.
Very good chase there, though. He's isolated, Hodgson. After that hit, I don't know if he knows who he's supporting.
This is Monaghan, the dummy half. And Molly, who started the first half on the bench, starts the second half very much on the field.
Big hit, good chase.
There's Westwood. And a thunderous effort forward again. 5 metres short of the halfway line, so here comes the kick. Breers planting it downfield. Is it going to go out of play? No, it's not. Hardacre will catch it in the in-goal area. And the run back where he's welcomed by Monaghan. And we'll hear what's been happening in the dressing rooms at half-time. First, in Leeds' dressing room, Tanya Arnold.
Yeah, Brian McDermott happy, saying they played the conditions well. Despite being behind, he feels they're in a decent position, stick to the game plan, and that it's all about that field position. They are hopeful that they will have Jamie James Buchanan back on the pitch at some point.
Well, I managed to grab a quick word with Willie Poaching from the Warrington coaching staff, and interestingly enough, there was no mention at all of the conditions in the Warrington dressing room at half-time. They simply have to control the ball better, according to Tony Smith, and that will win them the cup.
Thanks, Damien. Thanks, Damien, with the inside word from the Warrington dressing room, and Tony with the inside word from the Leeds dressing room. That's been lost, and it's been picked up. Now there's surely going to be a question to be asked here. Well, Delaney is celebrating, but the referee's allowed to on because he knows that he's got the benefit of the video referee to decide how this ball was lost. But it's a big, big moment for Phil Bentham, the video referee, to adjudicate.
Players' reaction usually says a lot. Just watch. He was smashed earlier on. That's a big, big hit.
Kylie Lulai did not miss. Hodgson left on the floor, wondering what day of the week it is. What a hit, and Burrow in the background, adding to the pain and agony of the moment. And as tough and as uncompromising and as vicious as this looks, would you say it was legal, or was that slightly high? Jonathan Davis can barely look.
Let's have a look where the contact is first of all. I don't know why Brett Hodgson is running down that channel. You've got to avoid it, right? Does the shoulder hit the head first, or does it hit the ball and the chest first? If it hits the chest and ball first, I think it's a fair tackle. If it doesn't, it's a foul tackle. It's a massive call. Is it a knock-on as well? Let's watch the ball as well. Does the ball... Hang on, watch his arm. Oh, hang on. Let's just watch if this is a knock-on as well. I don't know, there's so many things to look at here.
Bang.
That's a good tackle. Then let's have a look. There's the knock-on. I think it's a knock-on scrum. I think that's a very, very good tackle, but I think there's a knock-on.
Well, look at Brett Hodgson there now. He's actually back up on his feet.
If you lost the ball, you are going to do an Oscar. Let me tell you, if you lost the ball on your own 20-metre line...
That ain't an Oscar, Jonathan.
He's up on his feet.
Oh, you can't say that's an Oscar. He smashed it. He's just tough enough to get back up again, that's all.
Just watch. Let's have a look at the ball when it dislodges.
Now, are they going to judge that that was a knock-on by Luluai as well? That's the question.
That's a massive call, isn't it? I'd go fair tackle, knock-on.
Oh. Well, fair, but
there's
tough.
The knock-on. Just, he's very unlucky, because that's a great tackle. I think, you know, there's 50% booing and 50% saying that's a great tackle. There's only one man in the whole stadium.
Well, Phil Bentham.
There he is.
making the decision here. Kylie Lulai's not sure what this decision's going to be. Here it comes, Phil Bentham. No try, scrum defence. He's given the knock on. The tackle was fair. He's decided. Hodgson decidedly groggy. He's been hit by two big smashes in the early stages of this second half.
That's a big call, I tell you.
Lulai did get a hand to that, so knock on, so Warrington's head and feed. And we're back where we were.
That so easily could have been a try, because I felt it was a great tackle. But hey, another point, if Hodgson dislodges the ball, shouldn't it be the first knock on, and it's an attacking scrum? Just throw another little...
Well, the ball went backwards, didn't it? Don't put us through that again.
But I think that was a great tackle.
Anyway, Leeds in possession. It's
he was
he has given knock on again. He has given
so I was right.
Apologies, because it is Leeds' head and feed. So it is Leeds who have possession. Lunt helping it on. Now Peacock. He's so busy watching the replays.
So what you do now is, and if you don't score from the first set, great tackle again. You put the ball towards Hodgson.
So Lunt waits a dummy half, screaming at his players, trying to bring in Daryl Griffin, who's charging in. Lunt dashing back to position again, swinging it back this time to Sinfield, who will kick. Ryan Hall is out by himself on this left-hand side. Monaghan waits till he brings it down, gets the offload to Ablett, but he's carried out of play.
That's great defence.
Noteworthy that Lee Breers stood away on that occasion, confident that Joel Monaghan could deal with him all by himself, and he could.
Yeah, it's well, you're not going to out-jump Ryan Hall, that's the thing. So they let him win the ball and then picked up his inside runners. He is such a great player, this kid.
Watch your 10 metres.
They leave him win, they pick up his runners, and there's the tackle. Good play by both sides.
Let's go, mate.
Well, you can see the Leeds fans feel aggrieved by that decision.
35 minutes to go. Leeds 10, Warrington 12. And still plenty to come. Monaghan just to keep a hold of it. It's Brian McDermott. It seems almost churlish to mention, but just over 12 months ago there were a lot of people, a lot of Leeds fans amongst them, who were questioning Brian McDermott's pedigree as a coach. And since then he's won a Super League Grand Final, he's won a World Cup Challenge, and this now is a second Challenge Cup Final his side have been in 12 months. I don't think there are any doubts.
Sports all 50, isn't it?
Lee Breers with a kick to touch. Warrington will start the restart inside their opponent's half. Let's hear quickly from Robbie Hunter-Paul. Robbie.
Well, just then, you know, looking at what Leeds are doing and what they've done for the first 40 minutes and what they've done in the opening 5 minutes, when they've got into the opposition 20, they've decided to set up on the right side of the field and attack the left and open up the left side. I'd like to see what they could do if they did the opposite and gave Watkins and Jamie Jones-Bishop an opportunity to have a shot at the Wolves' left-hand defence.
Here comes Breers, held up less than 10 metres away. Warrington winding themselves up again now. Monaghan out from dummy half, right to Hodgson. Hodgson with a spin pass that might have taken the deflection. It's picked up by Ratchford. Michael Monaghan puts it back to Myler, who saw the runner coming through. Atkins put the kick in, but it's taken easily enough by Ben Jones-Bishop. Leeds have it safely patched again. But a big, hard work to go, and what a tackle! What a tackle that was! In terms of turning defence into attack, that was a great moment from Warrington. The pressure on, and then well-read Myler driving himself in, has forced a drop out underneath the sticks.
Great tackle, running across field. Myler lined him up, nailed him. You know, we've had two big tackles in the last 5 minutes, and just lifts the side. Leeds failed to make the most of that Kylie tackle from the scrum. Can Warrington score now?
Well, Richie Myler missed out a couple of years ago, but he's making amends, and Lee Breers, a sudden bounce. Oh, the referee said play on.
Well,
how did he not knock that backwards?
That went forward.
Well, we'll have to have a look at that one again, but the referee said quite clearly play on.
Yeah, that was a touch call. And at the moment, everything is favouring Warrington. They've got to make the most of this luck at the moment.
They lead by 2, and they're in an excellent position again here.
Yeah, touchy call.
Breers, Myler, spinning away. Leeds hanging on. Warrington looking to make this puncturing run if they can. Wood, once again, stepping off the right foot, sending himself through. Look for the offload, nobody close. So here comes the play the ball on the final tackle. This now is Breers. Breers with a little chip. Ryan Hall's underneath it, Monahan's underneath it, juggling and eventually knocked dead by Hardacre. And another drop underneath the sticks.
That's a great competition, isn't it? On the wing there, Ryan Hall against Monahan. But was that knock on or not? Right.
Well, did he somehow twist? But he was facing goalward, so. Well, it's the way the ball flies, not where it lands. It's where the ball flies.
I think that's a knock-on.
That depends whether it's a knock-on or not. It certainly, I think, landed behind, but
that's a knock-on. No matter how you look at it.
Here comes Morley, driving it back. That moment forgotten.
All about momentum. It's now with Warrington.
Here's Monahan.
Again, he's not square. And that's.
Here comes Breers. Tracked down and dealt with.
Hold, Ryan. Wait.
Lump the defender. Monahan again. Michael Monahan. Myler. Looking to that left-hand side. He's certainly had an influence in this game, hasn't he? Richie Myler.
Yeah.
Brought back to the middle by Michael Monahan. A bounce for Lee Breers to pick up on, and a difficult pass for Westwood to deal with. He has done, but losing the momentum, allowing him an easy target for Ben Westwood.
Poor execution on the passing there by Warrington.
McCarthy.
Good tackle.
Driving it in, put down. That was a bit. Here comes the last. Monahan again. Behind Wood, into the hands of Hodgson, and left it goes to Watkins. Their favourites to score here. Riley into the corner. Isolating the wing of Ben Jones-Bishop. Didn't know whether to stick or twist. And Riley siding in.
Well, what a big 5 minutes we've had. The Lalou tackle, then the knock-on. Warrington score. I think Atkins going to score on his own here as well. Great dummy run, just what Hodgson comes in. That's the dummy run by Trent Waterhouse, who draws the attention of the defenders. Just watch him. There it is. Callum Watkins just gets caught because of the run of Trent Waterhouse. And it's a lovely give and take. Just watch. He steps in. Ben Bishop's 2-on-1. Scores.
His 99th career try. Chris Riley edging closer to a real landmark, and what a proper occasion it would be were he to pass the century mark here today. 16-10. And if Hodgson puts this one over, then the scoreline, the difference becomes a little more significant, because it would be 2 scores that Warrington would lead by. So Brett Hodgson would look for all the world, as though he might be out of the game.
Recovered
not that long
well,
ago.
didn't he? I told you he recovered very, very well. Very well.
I hate the hint of cynicism that you deliver that line with.
If you've given a try away in the Wembley Cup Final, you lay there thinking you're
if you get smashed in the head by Kylie Luluai, you also lie down as though you're hurt, because you are hurt.
He's tough nut.
Here comes Hodgson.
Oh,
he's put it wide. He's put it wide.
Must have been that tackle.
So 10 points to Leeds, 16 to Warrington. A try and a goal would put Leeds back level.
Great finish. Look at that.
Warrington with the advantage thanks to that moment.
And I was off the ball running by Trent Waterhouse. Just sucked them in. The conditions as they are now, you know, I think next goal is important.
2. Move, Ryan. Hold. Go, 2.
It's Monahan.
Warrington won't stop playing, and maybe they'll have to draw a little bit more out of the Leeds attack now.
4. Move. Back.
Bring their backs into the game a little bit more.
It's Monahan again.
He's been brilliant since he came on, Monahan. He should have had 2 penalties as well.
Ratchford. Breers has perhaps not had the standout occasion that he would have hoped for today, Lee Breers, but there is still time, of course. Here comes Hardacre, looking to return. It's worth mentioning, by the way, at this stage, we've still got 29 minutes left to play, but we have to finish in 29 minutes because there is no extra time today if it is all square, which it could yet be when we go to a replay. Wednesday, September the 5th, that replay, by the way. Here comes Callum Watkins, is making an awful lot out of not very much, and in the end made a bit of a mess because he slipped out of play. Well, when he got that ball, there was nothing on, and he very nearly rounded those defenders, but then gives it away.
Yeah, I think Rob Burrow went down a blind alley there. Didn't have much to do. He tried to get on the outside. Unfortunately, with the slippery conditions, goes into touch. I'd like to see Callum Watkins with more ball in hand. He's got tremendous feet. Yeah, we haven't seen much of him because of the Leeds tactics. They've been very narrow, one-dimensional, get the kicking game down. And I think slightly negative, and I'm going back to the penalty just before half-time. Just a little bit of negativity. I think believe in themselves a little bit more, Leeds.
Here's Breers. Ratchford. Gathered in by two Leeds defenders. Stevie Ward, one of those. Here comes Morley again. It's poised at the moment, isn't it? It really is poised, nicely balanced, but Warrington could swing it perhaps decisively their way if they can find themselves away to the try line in this particular set of 6. This is Ward.
Very creative in the opposition 10-metre area. And they'll go short side again, I think. No.
Monaghan. Breers, step back on the inside to Hill. Hill from close reaches, but he's just held up short, and that was the 5th. So here comes the last. Spun back to Breers. Breers puts the kick in. Needs dealing with it. My word.
Fantastic.
Ryan Hall just about got fingertips to that.
Fantastic effort, Ryan Hall. Just watch. Great touch. That ball staying in. Had to get it, or Ratchford scores. Fantastic defensive play, Ryan Hall.
Lee Breers, the top Warrington try scorer in their illustrious history. The man alongside me, their 14th top point scorer. Jonathan Dix, yes, apparently. 14th in the list. Not that that's colouring his commentary today. Strictly neutral. Monaghan. Here comes Westwood.
Just feel now, Warrington have stepped it up a gear. Leeds have got to hang on in there. Their time will come.
Myler, looking left again. Again, they've got the numbers here. Amassing. Atkins comes back on the near side. Taken on by Hodgson once more. Looking left, looking back to the middle. High, hopeful ball. A little bit of a hang there. Warrington get it. But a little skipping run by Lee Breers. Eventually put down, but look how close he is now. And they still have tackles in the back. Monaghan up from dummy half. Myler again. Again, they've got the numbers here. Again, they've got the numbers. And it's the same outcome. Different finisher. Ryan Atkins. Another try for the Warrington Wolves. And you sense it swinging their way now. 2 tries in very quick succession. And they're beginning to turn momentum their way.
That's a great ball. Great ball. For Atkins, a try scorer. There we are. Richie Myler. Hodgson once again. It's been very difficult for Jones Bishop. Very difficult. They've been caught short on that right-hand side. You see it, look, it's a dummy runner once again. 3 on 2, you've got to pick a man. Hodgson picks the right man with the ball. The defence picks the wrong man. That's the problem. It seems that decision seems to have absolutely deflated Leeds, hasn't it? The Kyle Lou decision. A knock on again. You know, they've been unlucky with those calls.
It's the Warrington fans to our right who are in terrific voice at the moment. Those in primrose and blue, as opposed to the amber and blue at the other end.
Well, I think Leeds have got to be a bit more expansive now, Dave. They have to come out. They have to bring these boys into the game. Callum Watkins, Ryan Hall, Hardacre. They've got to go a little bit wider. Burrow's got a dart. You can't just take it up.
Here comes Hodgson with the conversion attempt from the
kick.
touchline. It's struck superbly well. Superbly well.
That's a big kick as well, so that takes them to 12 points clear. 2 converted tries. This is the money ball, bang. Very difficult for Jones Bishop to cover 2 men. It's the right pass to the right player. Right result for Warrington.
And if you're wondering what the symbol there that Ryan Atkins is putting in the air, it's the all join Jack symbol.
Yeah.
Little Jack Johnson, who we saw with the coin toss earlier, the son of Andy Johnson. And they're trying to raise awareness and raise money for research into muscular dystrophy, which a form of muscular dystrophy which poor unfortunate Jack is suffering from.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, the Rugby League fraternity have really got behind it. And I played against Andy, who's a tremendous player, a lovely lad as well. So I wish them all the luck in the world. Raise as much money as we possibly can.
No seconds.
Here's Paul Wood. You saw that possession stat there as well, which just shows you how much it's swung at the moment. Breers with a kick, putting Leeds back on the back foot if they can here. Ben Jones Bishop with a collect.
Here now.
He's done well to get away. Now Ryan Hall looks for the outside of Joel Monaghan, and Hall up to the 30-metre mark. That's a decent return provided by the 2 Leeds wingers. Burrow, Ratchford was rattling at him, so couldn't get the pass away.
Still a lot of time for Leeds left, you know. Still a lot of time left. Just got to play the game. One try, they're back in it. Again, they're short on the right-hand side. Look how narrow they all are. It's easy for Warrington to defend against them. Forward.
Here comes Peacock. It was a hint of a forward pass to it.
Yeah. Look, but the narrower the attack, the easier for the defence. Is just smash players. Just watch them. That's it. They rush up on Sinfield.
Oh, the passing's not good here. Jimmy Kinehorst is the man who's on.
Oh, he's done well there. Should have got anything in.
Little kick away. Jimmy Kinehorst, the German international. There he is, 22 years of age. He only made his debut just over a month ago. His dad, Wolfgang, is a lecturer at Leeds University, who are, of course, the sponsors of this final.
But the problem they had there, because they closed Kevin Sinfield down, the kicker.
Oh, here they go again now. Monaghan just held up at Warrington, threatening to turn this into another wave of attack. Westwood puts his head down, tries to burrow his way over, manages to get the offload, an improbable offload, an impossible to stop try. The man with the most famous beard in the game, Tyrone McCarthy, has to wait a moment to see if he's been given the try here.
Obstruction, I can't see any obstruction there, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a miracle offload, and again, let's see the obstruction. Great support play, never giving up. Westwood offloads. No, it's not. That's not. There's not an obstruction there. Before he goes down, there's the offload.
Well, it's the run of Chris Hill they're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
that's not a block, is it?
The man he was running at never even selected him in defence, so maybe it was just a peripheral vision thing here from Richard Silverwood. He saw it out of the corner of his eye, so just for safety's sake, would have a look at it.
I just think they covered themselves. So go on, see if there's anything happened.
Well, here we go. Watch the head-guarded player here, Chris Hill rather, as he comes in. He comes in. Now, is he causing an obstruction here? Is he causing an obstruction? Well, I don't think there's even a touch there on Ablett, was there?
Well, Ablett, you know, that's not obstruction. That's a try.
Well, the Leeds players, as they would naturally do, are asking the referee to go for the video replay there, hoping. But the fact that Phil Bentham is now having a look at the grounding suggests that he's happy there was no obstruction, and when he sees that, he'll be pretty confident in pressing the button that says try Warrington. Tyrone McCarthy. In 2009, he played only 3 weeks after his first ever game for the first team. Far more experience this time around, and a try scorer this time around, as Warrington stretch the lead, perhaps inexorably their way. 20 26 points to 10.
Try scorer for Warrington Wolves, number 21, Tyrone McCarthy.
The questions are being asked. Have we got it in ourselves now, even without that star performer? Have we got it within ourselves, those Leeds players saying to each other to come back from here? But at the moment, Warrington are looking like the irresistible force. Brett Hudson looking for his 4th success of this Wembley Cup final. Over it goes, as easy as you like. It is now 10 points to Leeds, 28 to Warrington. The try scorer's off for a breather as the interchange comes on in his stead.
There's the ball again. Great hands by Rashford. He's such a talent.
Takes the score to Leeds Rhinos 10, Warrington Wolves.
What an amazing offload that is.
So an hour play, 20 minutes left to play, 18 points the difference, and Warrington working their way. Monaghan, Michael Monaghan.
Third. Move! Hold, Jamie.
This is Brett Hudson, out from dummy half. Kicking again, forcing Leeds to do all the hard work from down there.
Hold on.
Hardacre.
Move!
Well, they've had a lot of territory and a lot of possession. Here we are, look. Second half possession, 78%. That is massive. And most of it in the Leeds half. So that just says it all in the second half. Leeds, you know, and they kicked early there, give them the ball. Leeds needed the ball, but no, they are struggling in their own half to get out.
Deflated and possibly defeated.
But the last try, as I was saying before it was scored, they put pressure on Kevin Sinfield, the only kicker that they have. Because he couldn't get the kick in, the next kicker was Kinehorse, who got his foot to it. But it was just, they got the ball back in their own half, just over their own half on the halfway line. So they were on the attack straight away. I can't believe that, as Ian Millwood said in studio, you need another kicker, and Burrow should have been there, or someone else been there, just to take the pressure off Kevin Sinfield.
Little reverse kick there by Stevie Ward up the outside of the boot, but taken easily enough, and Riley looking to inflict a little bit of damage on that chasing Leeds line. Bailey had him and pounced him down. And Atkins brings it forward with the offload. It's a little untidy, but Warrington recovering well enough. Second man in the tackle here.
Always at the centre.
Ryan Bailey wants to take Chris Eller's hat off.
Yeah, it's a distinct disadvantage when you've got a scrum flap in a fight, I think.
Time off.
That's frustration now for Ryan Bailey, but he doesn't help himself. You know, you've just got a little bit of field position.
Look, it's a late flop, okay? We dropped on him with a thigh as well, so be careful.
Late flop, once the tackle is, the man is down in the tackle, you cannot fall on him, jump on him. So that Ablett had Hudson down, and then Bailey comes in, so that's why the penalty has been given. Well, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, who looked every inch a Challenge Cup casualty in the first half, is back on the field.
First, move! Hold. Oh, wait.
This is Monaghan. This now is Hill, still fired up from that early confrontation, no doubt, with Ryan Bailey. Driving it in. Monaghan again. Inside. This time for Ben Harrison, offload again. Warrington happy to keep this ball alive. It's fairly low risk because even if they give it away, they've still got the 3-score lead. And there's every chance it might result in opening up this Leeds defence again. Lee Breers with a drop goal has suddenly made it a 4-score game. Leeds have to score 4 times now. Warrington are getting closer and closer here. Breers with a 1-pointer makes it 29 points to 10.
Yeah, it was very slow play of the ball. That extra point takes it out to 19. Very good field. Good Quick decision, nothing really else on. They've totally dominated the game since the Kylie Lelou tackle.
Well, they won in 2009, they won in 2010. Mostly this collection of players and this coach, and it looks every inch that they're going to be winners in 2012.
Yeah, short kick-off by Leeds, knock on. First attacking, real attacking opposition.
He'll be back, Adrian Morley, I'm sure, before the end of this game. He's played a captain's role today, off the bench. Sinfield with the ball back on the inside for Callum Watkins. It's now just a high-risk affair from Leeds' point of view. They have to go for it now. They have to keep this ball alive. Take the gambles.
Yes.
This is Burrow. There's a latish tackle there that's left the Leeds player down. Forward pass, though.
Yeah.
Stevie Ward is looking a little groggy.
Oh, he got smashed then, Stevie Ward. Back to the defender, absolutely smashed. They have to throw caution to the wind now. Recovered well. Just watch, bang.
It's a fraction, mate, it's a fraction.
Only a fraction late, the referee says, so no penalty.
Well, if it's late, it's late, whether it's a fraction or not.
Heads in.
15 minutes ago. Warrington's cup at the moment. It's going to take something miraculous for Leeds to wrestle it away.
Absolutely miraculous.
Not just because they have to score 4 times, but they have to stop this Warrington momentum because they are playing well at the moment.
Well, they weren't square again. They are on the rack now, Leeds, unfortunately for them. There's 15 minutes left, but they've got to kind of gather themselves, try and get back into this game. I think, you know, the tactics have been to keep it tight, and now that they have to chase the game, it's been very difficult to change that tactic.
It's been a cup of tears for Leeds over the last few years. They lost the last 2 finals, of course. They're going to be the first ever team to lose 3 on the trot, the way it stands at the moment in the last 100 years. Here's Carvel looking to get the arms free, and does. Warrington looking for the killer blow here. Harrison takes it in. Monaghan wanted it played quicker than that. The referee agrees with him. Penalty for hanging on. Right in front of the sticks.
You kick this, you might as well kick it, restart again, take the points in front of the posts.
And roll it on. Monaghan wants to roll it on.
Yeah, I think they will, but you know, they're going for it.
I might as well. Another trying to go here, game 1, no doubts. Here comes Atkins. Offload, knock on.
You know, and why don't you just take the, you know, just take the 2 points?
Come on, lazy discipline. Discipline, Leeds, come on. Tighten. Rob, get in, but
well, there's an argument to be made that Tony Smith is perhaps the most influential overseas coach we've had in Super League. What he's done at Huddersfield and at Warrington, and previously at Leeds as well. It was an argument that his opposite number, Brian McDermott, was making earlier this week. Looks like he's going to have a 3rd Warrington Challenge Cup to add to his CV here. Brian McDermott can only look on and wonder how his side can turn this around.
Move! Onside!
Burrow. Peacock. Sinfield. 3 players who've been in the mix in the last few years when Leeds have failed to find the line in a Challenge Cup tie, a Challenge Cup final. Hodgson. Riley. Fisher crowd today just under the 80,000 mark, 79,000 and some.
Move! Square up! Wait! Go!
So an exercise of going through the motions here from Warrington's point of view.
One side, Stevie, wait!
Monaghan. It's Carvel. Just a solid drive forward again. And an offload held. Just got rid of it just as the referee shouted held. So there is an example of that new rule this season.
Yeah.
Where you simply go back and play the ball.
I think that's a good change.
Westwood. And we're getting towards the Leinster Trophy decision as well, aren't we, in the later stages of this game? It's a decision that members of Her Majesty's Press make.
I think Ben Westwood got a good chance. What do you think?
Well, Westwood's as good as anybody else, isn't he, today? It's got to be a Warrington player because they have dominated, haven't they? They really have been terrific here today.
All the way, Trent. Go, 2.
Leeds looking for an unlikely route back. 11.5 minutes to play. They virtually have to score on every set at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and again, how narrow they are. It's been very, very easy. They've really closed them down.
Peacock with the offload. Burrow picks it up. It's Sinfield who gets his arms free and swings it away to Hardacre, who sees a bit of a gap to run into. Here he comes, puts the kick to the corner. Callum Watkins is the man on the chase, and Callum Watkins will score a try that just gives a hint of a recovery.
Yeah.
You never know in this game. You really never know.
Well, they've got 10 minutes left. That try, one more try, then they start thinking that they can do it. They'll be feeling sorry for themselves the last maybe 5-7 minutes, but that'll give them self-belief. And again, it's the offload, but he goes in, great. Burrow, Sinfield, another offload, and Hardacre gets on the outside of Carvel. Gets on the outside, that's a lovely kick. And Callum Watkins shows his pace. That's a very good try.
Time is of the essence, so Kevin Sinfield spending as little time as he possibly can here over the execution of this kick, but he has to make sure he nails them. That's important too, but he's put that wide. So 14-29 means that Leeds still have to score three times before the end of the game.
It's a lovely kick once again, good football. Callum Watkins scores.
So we've had the heaviest rain that we've seen for a long time today, and now we've got a bit of sunshine at Wembley as well. And is there a pace of belief here on the touchline by that Leeds coach Brian McDermott? Does he feel that his side could still pull this off? 10 minutes left to play, 15 points the difference, so 3 tries, the very least of the requirements for Leeds here today.
But they just got to keep doing what they're doing. Throw the offloads. They've got great strike runners out wide. We haven't seen a lot of the outside runners. Hall, Watkins. And now the offloads are coming in. Look, Hardacre.
Hardacre with a step on the inside. Has a little bit of a show.
Great step.
Leeds just building the momentum again here.
10 minutes is such a long time.
Ablett out to Watkins on that far side, ducks back on the inside, not tackled, almost picks himself up and carries on. Still tackles in the back, there's 4 tackles in the back here. So Leeds with an opportunity. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan, offloads, Libres drops on it, then he's lost it.
What's he doing?
Then he's lost it. And the referee says play on, it's back to 1. Leeds have it back again, and self-belief is flooding back here. Delaney with a drive.
They've started to offload now, Leeds. Warrington are looking least, they've got the opportunity.
Here's Ablett, 10 metres away. Burrow stands and waits. Taken in by Bailey.
On the line.
Still plenty of tackles to go. Burrow, Sinfield, back to Ablett. Warrington tackling desperately here on their own line now, knowing that they've got to keep Leeds out to stop this momentum building, to snub this new flow of self-belief. Burrow, Sinfield with a reach, lost, picked up, Harrison runs it away, still going here. Ben Harrison with a clearing run, and Warrington with a bit of relief.
Yes.
Here's Ratchford. Just putting up a bit of leg resistance. But Hill with another drive forward again.
Good. Move. Square up. Go.
It's Warrington's to lose, surely. Morley.
It is.
It's certainly theirs to win. Morley wrestling himself clear, wants a quick play the ball, gets a quick play the ball. Monaghan runs it off. Jamie James Buchanan wasn't offside. It's all right, says the referee. So here comes the last. Back with Breers. Breers just looking for touch or looking for a dead ball situation, drills it out of play. And his defenders can realign themselves on that 30-metre line as Leeds take the tap on the 20. Oh dear, James Buchanan into the arms of Watkins, knocked on.
That's pushing it, trying to push the game, the youngsters.
It's the hope that gets you in the end, isn't it? The Leeds players, the Leeds bench, just a little bit of hope raised, but another error made by them. And Warrington back in control here. And they're just beginning to lift the volume, those Warrington supporters. Just beginning to start their celebrations. 6.5 minutes to go. It's hardly premature.
Yeah, they've just got to play it out now. And they're very threatening when they get into this position, though. And maybe that has been the difference. More creative.
Atkins. Here's Mickey Hyam, back on the field at dummy half. Morley along to Breers. Lee Breers, left they go again. Not quite the numbers this time. Hudson will slide over and wins it for sure for the Warrington Wolves. 3 years ago, his heart broken as a Huddersfield player. The start of his heart, his body very nearly broken by the big hit of Kylie Luluai. But at the end of the game, he comes up a hero. It's going to be Warrington's day.
Yeah, just watch the width they put on this play. He's a kicker as well, so take his time walking back. Just watch the dummy runners once again. There's one. The width on the pass, they stretch the defence. Again, that dummy runner there. They've attacked the youngsters on the right-hand side. And again, there's the dummy pass. Trent Waterhouse has caused havoc with his dummy running. One dummy runner, great width on the passing. Monaghan, in he comes, throws the dummy. He just stayed off him a little bit too much there, Callum Watkins. That is it. Leeds, his little comeback is now over.
I think every try has come in that part of the field, that channel, hasn't it? Just trying to run my memory banks back. Joel Monaghan in the first half was the other side, but apart from that, certainly Warrington have wreaked havoc down their left side attack, Leeds' right side defence.
Trent Waterhouse is so important. People say, oh yeah, he hasn't done much with the ball. His running off the ball has been superb.
Here comes Hodgson with a conversion attempt. Over it goes. So it adds to his day of delight. And it's now pushing out to a very, very comfortable scoreline in Warrington's favour. 35 points to 14. They're winning at a canter.
Again, just watch Trent Waterhouse, okay? Just watch him. There he comes. Holds Sinfield up. That's right.
Leeds Rhinos 14, Warrington Wolves 35.
Hold.
And Warrington won't stop playing.
Go.
4 minutes to go. And Leeds know it's going to be another Wembley day of heartbreak for them. 1999, the last time they won here, the last time they won a Challenge Cup Final. He was 6 finals since.
Wasn't Morley playing for them?
1999, yes he was. That's a good stat, Jonathan. You've been doing your homework. So when every club owner available to him as well, Adrian Morley. Jamie Peacock was on the other side that day as well. Sorry, a year later in 2000 he was on the other side. Head and feet here for Leeds, but it's just an exercise in running down the clock here now from the Warrington Wolves point of view. They know they've got a big party to attend here tonight. A cup to lift. A few celebrations shared with those in primrose and blue, who for the third year in form find themselves celebrating a winning cause.
I think they've got a strong claim to do the double this year. I think they've managed their squad very well. They've rotated the players. They're all fit, and they're going to be tough to beat. Wigan are there. Leeds are always there in the Super League.
Here's Peacock, offloads, Burrow with a duck. But he's no way through, two defenders who are waiting for him. 3 minutes left to play. Stevie Ward. That was a high tackle, was it? What's he given here? He's stopping the clock because Jamie Peacock is down injured.
He's all right, he's got cramp, he said.
Hold the line, wait, go.
Offload, desperate stuff by Leeds. Warrington have it. Knock on, I think. Head and feet for Leeds. Well, the Leinster Trophy winner today is Brett Hodgson, we can reveal. There he is. He's only the 4th ever Australian to win that title. Graham Eady in '87, Brett Kenny in '85. His teammate Michael Monaghan back in 2009. But the 4th Australian, Brett Hodgson, in 2012. And he joins an illustrious list of Warrington winners. Breers, Monaghan, Derek Whitehead back in '74, Jerry Helm, a double winner back in '50 and '54. So only 5 Warrington players, only 4 Australians. So Brett Hodgson joins an almost exclusive list. Peacock with the offload. Kylie Luloi picks it up. Leeds are going to be held up short.
Get on the line, Chris. Go, third.
Here's Burrow. Ablett. Watkins. Looking to reach, and Callum Watkins will claim a double here. Confirmed by the referee. It matters little as far as the outcome of the game is concerned. Hence the rather mooted celebrations. But at least he's got 2 to his name.
Yeah, 2 tries. Start of the future, this kid. I just feel that they've just added a little bit too much for them, Leeds. The quality of their attack has done them. But what a talent this kid is.
Seafield again. Happy to get on with the kicking as quickly as he can, but he'll look away and run away because that too has fallen short of his high expectations. And today's performance, I'm sure, will have fallen short of Brian McDermott's high expectations. His lead side soundly beaten by Warrington, despite that last effort, that late effort by Callum Watkins. I'm not sure we're going to have time to restart the game here, are we? Well, the clock has been stopped. So 34 seconds to delay Leeds' agony, to delay the celebration of the Warrington Wolves. Here comes a kick. Well, Lee Breers has gone across to celebrate with Brett Hodgson when that announcement was made. Just a little high five between them. Breers now with his game head back on again, joining the line. Well, he won it himself, didn't he, a couple of years ago? And that was the moment the 2 men celebrate. 1 old Leinster Trophy winner, 1 new one. Little kick over the top. Taken. Here's Watkins. Callum Watkins going for a hat-trick maybe, putting the kick in. Takes a deflection. Picked up by Monaghan. A real scuffle, a real scramble. It's a penalty for Leeds here. The hooter has sounded, but Warrington offside, so a penalty for Leeds. And you know, for once, Tony Smith really doesn't care that a penalty's been given against his side.
Fall-on figure by McDermott. It's not the place to lose, 3 times.
Oh, Jimmy Kinehorst hit by a thunderous tackle by Lee Breers, and not many have said that in their career.
No.
But down he goes, and the embrace for Joe Monaghan for Lee Breers. McDermott left wondering once again, what is the blueprint for Challenge Cup victory for the Leeds Rhinos? Yet again, they haven't found it, but you have to say full marks to the Warrington Wolves. 3 times winners in the last 4 years, and they've done a job very efficiently today.
Yeah, very efficiently. I thought they were the better side, but you have to say the turning point was when that man, Kyle Allure, hit the tackle on Hodgson. That the try wasn't awarded, and I felt that was a huge turning point in this game. Momentum swung. Warrington then went ahead, scored some quick tries, and Leeds were deflated. But I thought, overall, best team won.
Well, Kevin Sinfield must be wondering if he will ever collect a Challenge Cup winners' medal. Not today, Kevin. It's Warrington's day. They have beaten Leeds by 35 points to 18.
Today's medals and the Carnegie Challenge Cup will be presented by our chief guest, Peter Phillips. First to receive their mementos of today are match officials, the referee Richard Silverwood and his team, touch judges James Child and Tim Roby, the video referee Phil Bentham, reserve referee Steve Hansen, reserve touch judge George Stokes, and the match commissioner.
There's the referee today, Richard Silverwood, getting his medal. It's been a year of medals, hasn't it? Especially for Yorkshiremen. Tim Roby and James Child. And this is the longest, lowest walk of them all, isn't it? It's almost torture to make a team do this, especially in these circumstances. From Leeds' point of view, so often they've been here and yet failed to deliver, failed to pick up that silverware they cherish more than any. There it is, the Challenge Cup. 1999, last time a Leeds skipper was able to grab a hold of it and take it home. Kevin Sinfield was hoping that today he could right that wrong from that club's point of view. It's not going to be the case. A little shake of the head as he walks past. And that's Brian McDermott. Well, last year they used this cup final, and the defeat in the cup final as a springboard towards grand final success in the playoffs. And he'll be hoping that they can do something similar this year.
Yeah, I think they showed great character last year. You know, everyone had written them off when they came back, and they were superb at the end of the season. So it's a horrible walk. You know, it's not a place for losers, having done it, and it's not a place.
Well, as he said, it might be the latter stages of his career, Adrian Morley, but it certainly ain't the end. He just keeps going and going and going. And they are gone, unfortunately, from their point of view. Today, anyway. The beams of the winners, the smile of the Lance-Todd Trophy winner, Brett Hodgson, 34 years of age. Heartbreak 3 years ago, the ultimate joy today. A winning team, a try scorer, kicking goals, and taking home one of the most famous individual awards as well, to boot. Little Moss. Can't tell me there are more like him at home. There certainly are.
Warrington Wolves.
Lee Breers, Ryan Atkins, Richie Myler, left out of the team 3 years ago, but very much part of a winning effort today. Big smiles for him as well. Well, they're happy to shake anybody's hand at this stage. Stephen Broomhead, the Warrington chairman. Nigel Wood, the chief executive of the Rugby Football League. Guest of honour today is Peter Phillips, son of Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal. But it's that man again. That man again. That team again. 3 wins in 4 years. It is such an impressive return for the Warrington Wolves. Wembley turns a shade of yellow and blue. Primrose and blue, to be absolutely correct. Ryan Atkins with a celebration. Richie Myler, Joel Monaghan, following in his brother's footsteps as a Wembley winner. Chris Riley, Tyrone McCarthy, who was very nearly a debutant at Wembley 3 years ago. Another who gets his hands on it, Ben Harrison, Gareth Carvel, who leads that line so impressively. The Lance-Todd Trophy winner, Brett Hodgson, getting his touch as well. Michael Monaghan, Another Lansdowne trophy of yesteryear, back in 2009. Ben Westwood, the foundations on which very often this Warrington team is built. All along the line it goes. Mickey Hyam, Trent Waterhouse, Stephen Ratchford, a Salford player this time last year. What a year he's had. Paul Wood, been here man and boy as a Warrington man. Chris Hill, what an impressive young prop forward he is, by the way. And last, but certainly not least, Tony Smith, who has built a dynasty. Got Huddersfield up and running, got Leeds up and running, many would say, and building a dynasty here at Warrington as well. He's left to pick up the pieces, and his winners' medal. It's Warrington's day. Winners by 35 points to 18. What a day for them.
The